Hello and welcome. We're going to jump right into a really critical piece of analysis from Xigence Solutions today. It paints a picture of a gathering storm over the private school market in Kerala. And if you're a school leader in the state, trust me, you're going to want to stick around for this. So let's get right to it. The big question on everyone's mind is Kerala's school market, especially for private schools, actually heading for a real crisis? Well, the data we're about to look at, it's pointing to a pretty clear and resounding yes. So what does the analysis show? It's a double whammy, really. The market is becoming hyper-competitive, while at the same time, it's actually shrinking. Put simply, more and more students are fighting over a smaller and smaller number of students. And here's the kicker. This trend isn't slowing down. It's about to speed up. All right, so what's really behind all this? It all boils down to one big thing: demographics. The simple fact is, the pool of potential students is getting smaller, and this has been going on for a while. Okay, just look at these numbers here. We're talking about kids from 1st to 10th standard. Back in 2019, you had almost 5.5 million potential students. The projection for 2025? Just over 5.2 million. Think about that. That's nearly 300,000 potential students just gone from the system in only 6 years.
And if you thought that was a big drop, well, hold on. Looking ahead, between 2026 and 2030, the forecast shows another drop of nearly 6.8 lakh students. Let that sink in. That's not just a number, that's a massive shift that is absolutely going to redefine the education sector in Kerala.
So why is this happening? This isn't something that just happened overnight. No, this has been building for decades, really since the 90s. It's a whole mix of things. Women are more empowered, entering the workforce, people are getting married later, and many young families are moving away. It all adds up to a lower birth rate. And now, the bill is coming due for our schools. Okay, this next part is where it gets really strange, almost counterintuitive. It's what we're calling the private school paradox. You see, even as the student population is shrinking, the competition is actually getting more intense. Take a look here. While the number of students is going down, the number of CBSE and ICSE schools is actually going up. More private players are jumping into the market or switching their affiliations. The competition is literally growing while the customer base is shrinking. But, and this is the huge but, look what happened to student numbers in those very same private schools. Double-digit drops across the board. We're talking a nearly 16% drop for CBSE, and almost 19% drop for ICSE. That is huge. The only places that saw an increase were government and aided schools, and there's a reason for that. Now, I know what you're probably thinking. That's just the COVID effects, right? Parents were looking for cheaper options. And yeah, you're not wrong. That definitely happened for a bit. But here's the critical part. That trend has pretty much leveled off. By 2025, things are expected to go back to how they were before the pandemic. So we can't just blame COVID for this. The deep underlying problem is still there, and it's not going away. So if the past few years felt tough, the future looks, well, even tougher. We're not just talking about a gentle slope down. We're talking about heading towards a real enrollment cliff. Just listen to this directly from the analysis. The rate of decline is expected to be 2 times faster. So whatever pressure you felt over the last 10 years, get ready, because the next 5 are projected to be twice as intense. That is a massive acceleration. Okay, so let's bring this down from the big statewide picture right to your own backyard. Because this isn't just happening to Kerala. It's happening to your district. And this is where it gets personal for every school leader. This heat map tells the story in a single glance. It's pretty straightforward. The darker the red, the bigger the drop in potential students by 2030. And you can see right away, some districts are glowing red. Places like Thrissur, Thiruvananthapuram, Kannur, and Ernakulam, they're right in the eye of the storm. And the numbers behind that red color, they are staggering. We're not talking about small shifts here. Thrissur is looking at losing almost 86,000 potential students. Thiruvananthapuram, more than 76,000. That's not just a dip in admissions. That's the equivalent of entire school communities that will simply no longer be there. Now, we can get even more specific. Take a moment and find your own district on this chart. Follow that line from 2025 to 2030. That downward trend, that's your future, right there. That's the year-by-year decline that you need to be building your strategy around, starting right now. So, the data is what it is. It's a tough picture. There's no doubt about it. Which brings us to the real question, the one that matters most to you watching this. Are you prepared for what's coming? Because this isn't just some abstract number on a chart. This is going to hit every single part of your school's operation. We're talking about admissions and class sizes, obviously, but also how many teachers you need, your financial plans, whether your fees are sustainable, even things like whether you can keep all your buildings open. This goes right to the core of your school's survival. And just so you know, all of this isn't guesswork. It's based on solid data from official sources. The Department of Education, CBSE, government statistics, all carefully put together and analyzed by Xigence Solutions. If you want to dig deeper into what these numbers mean for your specific school and start working on a strategy, Xigence Solutions is the place to go. Look, the data is clear. The trend is undeniable. The real question this leaves us with is, how will your institution adapt to not just survive, but thrive in this new, hyper-competitive reality?